5,000 years ago, gold and silver were considered money. 2,000 years ago, in the time of Jesus, gold and silver were considered money. Today, are gold and silver still considered money? With the Currency Act of 1764, the world was given an alternative to gold, currency. In time, the world began to view currency as money. Currency was created by man, governments, but to maintain any value as money, it must be backed by faith and confidence. Gold and silver were created by God and require no faith and no confidence to be money. Gold is and has always been money, always. In time, currency began to be called credit, still backed by the same faith and confidence. Currency, in the form of credit, is what runs our world, not money. Credit gives a US dollar and world currencies perceived value. Credit gives the world stock market perceived value. Credit gives treasuries perceived value. And credit gives mortgage loans perceived value. Remove faith and confidence, and the perceived value disappears. Remove faith and confidence in credit, and all that remains is the paper they were written on. What remains is a US dollar and world currencies with little to no perceived value. A stock market with little to no perceived value. Treasuries with little to no perceived value. And mortgage loans with little to no perceived value. So what does a growing, rising economy backed by faith and confidence look like on a financial chart? Very simple. It equals a rising stock market. The US and world stock markets appear to be rising, yes or no? Let's have a closer, more detailed look. Starting in the year 1980, the economy rose within wedge number 1 into the year 1995 and then broke upwards. This was positive. The economy rose from 1995 within wedge number 2 into the year 2000 and then broke downwards. This was the first break in faith and confidence. The economy once again rose from the year 2002 within wedge number 3 into the year 2007 and then broke downwards. This was a second break in faith and confidence. The economy once again rose from the year 2009 within wedge number 4 into July of 2015 and then broke downwards in August of 2015. This was the third break in faith and confidence. A growing economy has wedges that break upwards as in 1995, not downwards as in the year 2000, 2007, and again 2015. The first break in faith and confidence arrived in the year 2000 with the stockmarket.com bubble. The second break came in the year 2007 with a stock market and a real estate bubble. And the third break arrived in August of 2015 with the stock market and the dollar both broke down. The stock market, the dollar, real estate, and treasuries are all expected to break again in the year 2016 as the stock crash accelerates. Below is a close-up view of the wedge that broke in August of 2015. So what does the Bible tell us? It tells us to search out and calculate. It is the glory of God to conceal a matter, but the glory of kings is to search out a matter. Let him who have understanding calculate the number. Everything has its time, a time to break down and a time to build up. And I will appoint 2 witnesses, and they will prophesy for 1,260 days. The number 777 represents the threefold perfection of the Trinity. It is a reference to 7 angels, 7 trumpets, and 7 bowls of wrath from the book of Revelation. Below are several concealed calculations for timing. A prophetic year equals 360 days. A circle has 360 degrees. A week has 7 days. 1260 days equals 42 months equals 3.5 years. 2 times 1260 days equals 7 years. 7 cycles of 360 weeks equals 49 years. A Jubilee year is 49 years plus 360 days plus 2 cycles of 7 days equals exactly 50 years. Now let's apply timing calculations to the 2007-2011 gold-silver cycle using God's clock. How we forecast the exact day silver topped at $49 and then the exact day gold topped at $1,923 in the year 2011. The silver timing calculation. November 7, 2007 top, we add 1,260 biblical days plus an additional 7 days, and we arrive at April 28, 2011. That was the exact $49 top on silver, and we sold. Gold's timing calculation. From March 17, 2008 top at $1,033, we add 1,260 biblical days plus an additional 7 days, and we arrive at September 5th, 2011. That was, the exact top at $1,923 on gold, and we sold. Timing was to the exact day, absolutely perfect. Simply coincidence or by design. Now let's apply timing calculations to the 2000 to 2007 stock cycle using God's clock. From the exact top on March 24th of the year 2000, we add 7 years, 7 months, and 7 days. And we arrive at October 31st, 2007, which happened to be the exact top. Again, timing was to the exact day, absolutely perfect. Simply coincidence or by design. Next, now let's apply timing calculations to the 2007 to the 2015 stock cycle, once again using God's clock. From the exact top on October 31st, 2007, we will add 7 years, 7 months, and 7 weeks. We arrive at Sunday, July 20th, 2015, which happened to be, once again, the exact top on Monday, July 20th. Again, timing was to the exact day, absolutely perfect. Simply coincidence or by design. Below is a 17-year overview of the NASDAQ in relation to God's clock. You'll notice perfect cycle timing to the absolute exact day. In a specifically timed July 20th, 2015 True News interview, we stated,
"So off these highs here, it's over."
In a follow-up September 9th, 2015 True News interview, the following question was asked.
All right, now, Bo, going back to what you mentioned a few minutes ago about July 20th, I had asked you in July to come back on the program, and you said, I would like to schedule this for July 20th. And you told me the reason. You said the markets are going to top. I'd like to do the interview in that third week of July. For listeners who don't understand what you're talking about, take a moment and tell them how you knew the markets would top in the third week of July.
Future timing calculations using God's clock. There exists a concealed 252-year and 21-year recession-depression stock market cycle. 7 cycles of 360 years or 2 cycles of 1,260 biblical years equals 2,520 years. Drop a 0 and we have 252-year timing cycle. 3 cycles of 7 years equals a 21-year timing cycle. Starting with the Currency Act of 1764, we add 21 years, and we arrive at 1785 in the Monetary Panic. you'll notice that every 21 years there is a recession or a depression. And the next recession, cycle low, is expected in the year 2016. The year 2016 completes both the 252-year and the 21-year cycles combined. Therefore, we should expect the crash of the century. Why Shemitah 2015 failed and the actual true date. Starting with a six-day war in Israel of June 5th, 1967, we add 7 cycles of 360 weeks, or 49 biblical years. We arrive at September 21st, 2015. Adding a Jubilee year to September 21st, 2015, we arrive at the true date for the Shemitah, and that is October 2nd, 2016, or Elul 29. And the next day, October 3rd, either by coincidence or timing perfection, just happens to be Rosh Hashanah. In a specifically timed December 3rd, 2015 Future Money Trends interview, the following was forecast.
We got this yesterday. We're doing the interview at the close of the market. It's December 3rd. And on December 2nd, you sent out an update, and it says, just the first paragraph, we have been waiting for the markets to begin their next crash cycle. Close analysis of the daily cycles indicate the next leg down is expected to begin tomorrow, December 2nd, 2015, and continue for possibly 7 consecutive days down into Friday, December 11th, 2015. And then it goes on to say, will the markets finally begin to drop? We will know soon enough. But this week, the markets are expected to begin their downturn into the 2016 crash bottom.
Consecutive days down starting December 3rd, exactly as forecast. In fact, there were down days starting December 3rd on all world markets as forecast. Australia, Switzerland, Toronto, and even the U.S. S&P 500. Let's define a definition of a bear market trend. A series of lower highs and lower lows and multiple broad market indices over at least a 2-month period is considered an entry into a bear market. Applying the definition of a bear market downtrend to the U.S. S&P 500. The strongest U.S. markets are all making lower highs since the July 20th, 2015 top, and on December 14th, 2015 made a lower low below November 16th of 2015. There is a July top, November lower high, December lower high, secondary lower high in December. The November low, and there is the new lower low below November of 2015. 2016, God's Year of Jubilee. Set this year apart as holy, a time to proclaim freedom throughout the land for all who live there. It will be a Jubilee year for you. The Jubilee began on September 28, 2015, and ends on October 3rd, 2016. God's Year of Jubilee. 2 crashes or market events are expected for the Year of Jubilee in 2016. First, the world stock crash has already started. The final top was on July 20th, 2015. Then, on November 2nd, 2015, was a bearish lower high. And on December 3rd, 2015, as stated in our interview, the world economic meltdown into a deep cycle 2016 low has already begun. For specific timing, please see our stock index. The second market event is expected Sunday, October 2nd through Monday, October 3rd, which is the first trading day of Elul 29 or Shemitah 2016. God's math is always perfect. Man's ability to correctly understand and calculate God's math is where past and future timing errors occur and where past and future perfect timing calculations reside. The 777 cycle, the 252 cycle, and the 21 cycle all point to a crash into 2016. The August 2015 forecast for a crash, and then the latest December 3rd 2015 forecast for consecutive days down further confirmed the crash cycle into 2016. Lastly, each time the monthly support line broke, a crash followed. Do not forget, the 777 cycle is a perfect to the exact day cycle. A technical breakdown in a financial charts appears as a break of support line and can be best described as a loss of faith and confidence. And a crash or a meltdown is nothing more than a loss of faith and confidence in credit. Correct timing calculations to date. Earlier, we described how using the 1260 cycle, we forecast the exact day silver topped at $49 and then gold at $1,923. The timing was correct. On April 29, 2015, the stock market index forecast the exact top on China's stock market, and the HSI index has crashed over 7,300 points since. Again, the timing was correct. In an interview with Rick Wiles of True News, on July 20th, 2015, the 777 cycle forecast the exact final top for the U.S. stock markets. We stated in the interview, off these highs, it's over. Again, our timing was correct. On August 2nd, 2015, we wrote, in the last 2 weeks of August, price is expected to accelerate downwards, causing the early July lows on the Dow with the S&P and the NASDAQ all to break. Again, our timing was correct. An August 25th stock market cycle low on or before September 2nd, 2015. The low arrived August 24th with the Dow crashing over 2,700 points. The timing was correct. In September 2015, all eyes of the financial world were on Shemitah 2015 on Elul 29 or September 14th. For in 2001, Shemitah brought 9/11, and in 2008, the Dow crashed over 777 points. We stated Shemitah 2015 will disappoint in all of our videos and interviews. Again, our timing was correct. China's stock market was expected to crash again on the day the 2,520-week biblical cycle ended on September 23rd, 2015. As forecast, starting September 23rd, the HSI index crashed nearly 1,700 points into September 29th, 2015. The timing again was correct. In a December 3rd, 2015 interview with Future Money Trends, we forecast all world markets to fall for approximately 7 days, as illustrated in our video earlier. Again, our timing was correct. Gold versus the stock market. Gold and the world stock markets are all in inverted, meaning opposite cycles, as of the inversion point in March of 2013. Therefore, a stock crash into 2016 will cause gold, silver, platinum, palladium, all precious metals to explode vertically into the year 2016. The long-term cycle for the world stock markets is down. Expect a spike or a price reset in gold and silver. The stock market index explained. The red date box final top was expected and arrived on July 20th of 2015. The green date box is a cycle low expected on or before September 2nd of 2015. The blue date box is a cycle lower high expected on or before November 2nd of 2015. And the black date box A is the first cycle low still expected in December of 2015. Black date box B is the second low expected in early 2016. And black date box C is the final meltdown low time point in 2016. Black index dates and details on Shemitah 26 will be provided to subscribers. The gold index explained. The black box is a major cycle bottom and low. The next red box is a date for a December 2015, January 2016 cycle high. The brown box is a date for a paper re-entry after the cycle high. The green box is a date for 2016 top and where we're expecting 3 digits on silver. Cycle dates provided to subscribers. Our guarantee. It is my opinion and belief that our current exclusive turn dates, gold index, and stock market index date calculations are among the most accurate in the world. We are so confident of this fact that for a limited time we are now offering a 100% guarantee to any new subscriber who is not completely satisfied within the first 30 days. The year of Jubilee has begun, and Shemitah 2016 is coming. The 777 cycle, the 252-year cycle, and the 21-year cycle all indicate a crash in the money credit system into the year 2016. Remember, gold and silver were created by God and require no faith and no confidence to be money. Change is coming as the 252-year cycle ends and the credit system fails. Expect the year of Jubilee to be a jubilee for those who hold physical gold and silver. God's timing is always perfect.